we as women are not supposed to try to be these like fragile, brainless people. I mean, what kind of help me would we be for our husbands if we have no brain to do what I need to do, protect my children? And yes, that means resorting to violence if needed. Hello, beautiful. Welcome to Gems and Pearls with Love. I hope that all of you lovely and precious ladies are all doing well. So this is another Cake with Kate type of video. And if you are new here, no, it does not mean that it has anything at all to do with cake. It is just a cute name that my subscribers helped me choose to call my videos that are more casual, laid back, unscripted. I'm usually multitasking, and because I'm multitasking, I'm not always looking at the camera while I'm talking. Yeah, that kind of more just come over and let's chat type of feel videos. So I'm in my office and I actually have some work to do that I'll be doing while chatting with you guys. So today I wanted to talk to you guys about man-made boxes, and I wanted to warn you precious ladies about allowing yourselves to be put into man-made boxes. So what do I mean? I will elaborate. You know, I don't know if you're aware of this, but usually if, let's take homemaking, for example, there are people out there that will say that, you know, you're only a homemaker if you do this or if you don't do that. And really, it's just a bunch of like man-made rules. I don't know where they get it from. Or if we take femininity, for example, people would say like, you know, if you like this kind of hobby, for example, you are less feminine. If you dress like this, you are not a feminine woman, etc. Another example of this, they would say like, if you are a conservative, that means that you have to agree with all of these things. Or if you do not agree with all of these things, then you cannot call yourself a conservative. Or if you are a certain skin color, that means you must like certain kind of music. And if you like a different kind of music, then you are not. Like, you are called whitewash, for example. If you are a Black person that would like rock music or that would like country music or whatever, something that is not more typically considered to be Black per se, then you were called whitewash growing up. At least that's how it was when I was growing up, for sure. And yeah, so I mean, there's different ways of how this happens, but it's something that absolutely happens. So that's kind of what I mean when I say man-made boxes. So this is something that, you know, I've been thinking about for a few days now, and I really wanted to talk to you guys about it. But then there's something else that I don't really know if I can say it ties in with it, but it's going to get added in anyway, because there was a post I saw this morning, and based on that and other things that I have seen people post about, people say in podcasts and videos, etc., like, yeah, based on other things that I've seen. So it wasn't just based off of this one post, but based off of other things as well. I am kind of concerned about the message that is pushed out here. So let me just actually quickly read to you guys the post that kind of really had me like, yeah, we're going to talk about this. So I'm not going to bother share who posted it. I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to let you know what it said. And, you know, I know it could be just more of a haha, joking, playful kind of thing. But based off of other things that I've seen this content creator post, I don't think it's fully haha, joking. You know, as I said, based off other things that has been posted. But anyhow, so here's the post. It says, I don't know who try to convince men we are strong and tough and have brains. Talking about women here. So I'm going to start again. I don't know who tried to convince men we are strong and tough and have brains. I am just a little delicate flower and can only bake cookies and wear cute dresses. As somebody who loves to bake cookies and wear dresses, I think I'm a bit offended by that post. Again, maybe they meant it in a more lighthearted, haha kind of way, but as I said, based on the other things that they've posted, I'm not too sure how much of a haha this is supposed to be. And what I have been seeing is this whole thing of like putting down women. So there are these reels that have went around and still go around, where basically the concept behind it is that, you know, when a woman is out with her man, she kind of has her brain shut off, like she doesn't have to be thinking. And those, I don't mind. Like those are like, haha, they're playful, they're cute, and they're relatable. Because I know for me personally, when I'm out by myself, whether I'm just by myself or if I'm with my children, and my husband's obviously not there, my mind is going like 100 miles. Like it's just, I'm constantly on high alert, making sure that, you know, no one that is like kind of weird or suspicious looking gets too close to my kids and, you know, whatever. Like my mind's constantly going. Whereas when I'm with my husband, I do feel more relaxed. He's my protector. So I know that he's now in that role as protector. So I am less on high alert. So I know like that's what they mean when they're saying that, right? Like, you know, you get able to shut your brain off. And I can relate to that. To me, that's cute. I have no problem with things like that. But that versus what like these kind of posts are talking about is a whole different ballgame, right? I've seen stuff where someone would literally say, you know, my husband can tell me how to think. Like I don't need to think because my husband tells me how to think. I cannot judge their intent on when they post things like that. I think some people post things like, for example, the one I read and things like that because they know it is very shocking and it's very like kind of clickbait. It makes you want to go and read this post and watch this post and argue. It's going to cause people to get angry because it's so outrageous that it's like, oh my God, like how could you say something like that? And then you're triggering people and then people are going to come in, they're going to comment and then your post is likely to go viral. I think that's why some people honestly post things like that. And some people just simply, I guess, believe that, which is kind of hard to believe and kind of sad because as someone who might like myself who love women, love everybody, I have a special soft place in my heart for women, which is interesting because I'm usually accused of quite the opposite as somebody who is a homemaker who talks about respecting your husband, submitting to your husband, you know, talks about value in your home. I'm sometimes accused of not loving women. I'm accused of putting women back or putting women down. It's clearly not true. I definitely absolutely love women, but things like this makes me sad. It makes me a little bit upset because things like that is what I believe is putting down women. To think that we need to be brainless, to think that we act like as if we can't think for ourselves is silly. And that is not femininity. If you are like new to hearing about femininity or even to hearing about being a traditional woman, please do not think that stuff like that is what is a true picture of femininity or even being a traditional woman, because it is absolutely not. Being a traditional woman is literally just a woman who has traditional values. Usually when they are talking about values, we're talking about family values. So just a woman that believes into the nuclear family, a husband, a wife, one husband, one wife, and children, right? Obviously, the more modern way to look at things is like it can be anything, right? It can be two moms, two that, whatever, a bunch of different things. Or the father's not even needed at all, or the mother's not needed at all, whatever, and sometimes it's very more, I would say, money and biz and self-achievement is more the main focus over family, right? So that's usually the more modern way to look at things. So a traditional woman just believes that it's like family first. Her home comes first. Does that mean that she cannot have a career, that she cannot have other ambitions outside the home? No. You've heard me say on this channel more than once that I believe that homemakers include those women who are working outside the home part-time, who are working outside the home full-time, who are like me, who have businesses at home, which sometimes even can possibly take even more time, depending on what your business is. I know mine doesn't. Well, some days it does, depend on how much orders come in, etc. But sometimes, depending on what your business is, it can take even more time than a 9-to-5 job. And that does not make you less than of a homemaker, because being a homemaker has to do with your mindset. If it came down to the point that it was your family or that, would you choose that? Because I'm not letting it go because, this is what's important to me more than my family. Not that you would say that, but what would your actions be? Right? So having a mindset of like, my family, my home is a priority. It is my job to manage my home, regardless if I work outside the home full time, if I'm outside the home doing business work full time or not. Right? My home is a priority. It's a mindset. It's a heart stance to be a homemaker. Right? Homemakers look different. We're not all the same. Some homemakers do have homesteads and they have farms and animals to take care of. And what they have to do in their responsibilities is going to look different than a homemaker who's in the suburbs, right? Who, maybe homeschools their children or who doesn't homeschool their children, right? A homemaker, there might be someone that is very wealthy and she hires cooks and she hires people to clean the home. But guess what? No matter how much people she hires, you can hire a housekeeper, but you cannot hire a homemaker, because a homemaker is a calling. It's a ministry. It's not a job to be hired out, right? As I said, it's a heart mindset thing. It's not a career. Yes, it can be looked at like a career, and I believe it should be treated with the same respect as a career, but it is not. So this is what I'm trying to say when I say, like, at the end of the day, we have to allow room for there to be different opinions and different views and for things to look different. It doesn't have to look exactly the way that we expect it to look. Now, as a believer, there is still guidelines. As I said, to me, marriage is one man, one woman. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that, right? But so there are some things, there are some guidelines, there are some lines that I will not cross. That's why I said that what I'm really talking about today is man-made rules, not things that God's put in place. I'm talking about man-made rules that people are just making up, right? Thinking that, if you are working, or I've even seen people say stuff like, you're not actually a traditional wife because you're here online making content. So that means you're making money, from that content. Where are you getting that from? What does that woman value in her family above everything else besides God and her managing her home? Whether, again, that is that rich person that is managing the people that are taking care of the home, because outsourcing has nothing to do with you not managing it. Like, just because you outsource doesn't mean you're not managing it. What does that have anything to do with, her being a traditional wife or her being a homemaker? Same thing when it comes to femininity. Femininity does not restrict us from having hobbies. If you like sports, if you love to go hunting, if you don't like wearing dresses, that does not mean that you are any less feminine. At the end of the day, you can be wearing all the dresses, all the pink, all the bows. And by the way, I love pink and I love bows and I love dresses. I'm just saying, you can love all those things and be doing all those things, but not be feminine, but not be, showing, for example, like gentleness. Gentleness is actually a fruit of the spirit, which is for both men and women. But it's women that God says that a quiet and gentle spirit is precious in his sight. As a traditional woman, yes, I believe in traditional gender roles, meaning that the man is the main provider, breadwinner, and the woman is the main caretaker. Does that mean that the woman cannot provide finances? No. It just means that it's not her main responsibility. As this Proverbs 31 woman bought and sold land, she made stuff and sold things, she made money. We cannot ignore that part of the scripture. Okay, so as I was like editing my video, there was something I realized I wanted to also add when it comes to even liking things like dresses and pink and bows. As I said, I love those things. I love all the girly girl stuff, the glitter, etc. One thing that made me feel really free is realizing that it's okay to like that, but to also like wearing pants sometimes, right? Also, like different things. Like, this is also what I mean by the whole feeling like you have to be in this box. Like, you can't, you know, love some modern decor, but also love some cute cottagecore decorations or decor. Like, it's like it has to be one or the other. And it's not true. It doesn't have to be one or the other. You don't have to choose between being passionate about your business, being passionate about whatever career you're in, about being an entrepreneur and actually like working hard in whatever ambitions you have that is outside of the home. You don't have to choose between that and also absolutely love being a homemaker, absolutely love quiet times with your kids, absolutely love, um, you know, spending time with your husband and doing things special for him and etc. You don't have to choose one or the other. You don't. The important part is making sure that, again, your family is a priority. So as much as you may enjoy being an entrepreneur, enjoy your having a career or whatever the case is, as much as you may love that, as long as it's not to the point where it's like, your family suffering or has to sacrifice because of your love for that. It's the point where it's like, you would go and let's say you get pregnant, you would go and have an abortion. Like, because of the fact that that child's going to be in the way of your career. That is now an indication where there's a heart issue there, where you are not putting your family first. Then that's the thing we're going to have to talk about, right? That's the thing that where I would say, okay, I don't believe that you're being a traditional woman if you are putting a career or whatever, activities or ambitions you have outside the home over the family. But if you are not doing that, if you know that at the end of the day, family's first for you, but there are things you enjoy outside the home, there's nothing wrong with that. You can, as I said, be passionate about that. You can work hard towards that. You can, be a businesswoman and still be a homemaker as long as you are prioritizing your family and the management of your home. Then there's nothing wrong with the man doing things in the house, cooking meals. I've already told you guys before when I made that video about traditional gender roles in my marriage. My husband loves to cook, so there's no way you're going to keep him from that kitchen, and I don't want to. I love his cooking as he loves mine, right? There's going to be crossovers, and it's fine. It's not this thing where it's like, oh my gosh, like, oh, you have your husband cooking? Oh, you're canceled from being a homemaker. You're canceled from being a traditional woman. No. You make like $1 million in your business? Oh, you're canceled from being a homemaker. Like, where are we getting this from? Where are we getting this from? These are this man-made things. And I want you women to be free of all of these restrictions. Okay, if you like to shoot guns and go hunting, then girl, go and shoot guns and go hunting. That has nothing to do with your God-given femininity. We as women are not supposed to try to be these like fragile, brainless people. Are we the weaker vessel? Yes, we are the weaker vessel. The Bible even tells us that, and typically speaking, men are physically stronger than women. Typically speaking. Obviously, there are some situations where some men are very physically weak and some women are like very physically strong and they have huge muscles like, a men typically would. But there's a reason why we would look at that and in a strange way, or we'll look at that and think, oh, that's different, because it's not the norm, right? So yes, besides the, few exceptions, yes, women are typically weak, physically weaker than men. However, that does not mean that we do not have any strength at all. That does not mean that at the end of the day, if my children were physically in danger, someone was physically trying to harm my children, you better believe I'm going to do everything I physically can to protect my children. I'm going to use every strength and pray God gives me extra strength to do what I need to do to protect my children. And yes, that means resorting to violence if needed. There's that woman in the Bible who literally had to take a tent peg and nail it into a man's head. Yes, we are women that, exude some gentleness and softness, etc. But at the end of the day, we are still supposed to be wise, like Abigail, who had to go against her husband because of the fact that her husband was telling her to do something that, not telling her to do something, but if she didn't do it, if she didn't go against her husband's wishes, her husband, and a bunch of other people, including herself, would have been dead. And that's why I made that post the other day on Instagram where I talked about reasons why not to submit to your husband. We're supposed to be Abigail was praised of being wise and discerning. We're supposed to be wise. We're supposed to be, right? We're intelligent. I mean, what kind of help would we be for our husbands if we have no brain? As a businessman, my husband is happy for my brain. I've given him many ideas and things that he's put into practice and has worked and has brought him success. Men do not want brainless women, at least not the men that we should be wanting to be husbands anyways, right? So anyway, I don't know. Maybe I'm just blabbing and saying not much at all. Let me know if anything I'm saying is registering or understand that you can understand or relate to, whatever. All I'm basically just trying to simply say, guys, is that don't allow yourselves to be put into these boxes. Whether that is as as a traditional woman, as a woman in general, just don't. And be careful of the messages that are out there. Even my messages, pray about it. Pray about everything. Take everything to prayer. Because at the end of the day, we are only human. Anyway, I have to go and put these on some jackets, and that's it. That's my little rant I have for today. Let me know your thoughts down below. But yeah, until next time, bye-bye.